Rosa Parks was not the first person to resist giving her seat to a white person. Her name was Claudia Colvin. They didn't feel she was fit to lead the revolution because she was 15 and got pregnant by a married man. Speaking Ebonics is okay, even though in America it's looked at as negative. Culturally, that's what we had to learn. As slaves, we weren't taught English traditionally, so this is just how we picked up on things, and eventually it just carried on into the African American culture. So embracing your culture in public isn't a bad thing. The traffic light was originally made by Morgan Garrett, but his credit was taken away because he was black. There was a difference between being angry and ignorant and angry and educated. If you're passionate and you're educated, then that means something. Being mixed is no separate race. You're a person of color. Oh, not all dark-skinned girls like to be referred to as food, such as chocolate. Not all black people can sing. Not all black people can dance. Africa means land of the Afri. The Afri were the original natives to Africa. Not all African Americans enjoy eating soul food. And with that being said, a curvy African American woman did not get her curves from soul food. The apartheid that happened in Africa was established by the Dutch when they invaded Africa. This is what sparked the Nelson Mandela movement. To all my black females, skin color, eye color, and curl pattern do not determine your self-worth. The light skin versus dark skin trend that's happening within POC is a mental slavery tactic that was used by the Willie Lynch theory. You can get ahead in life without code switching. For those of you who don't know, code switching is what POCs usually do when they get around other POCs. It's that generic, oh girl, what's up, type of thing. And then when you get around people who aren't of color, you want to talk more proper. I've had a lot of issues with that growing up, and I've come to learn that you don't need that to get ahead in life. You talk how you want to talk, you do what you want to do, and that's just it. Sometimes I just feel like people of color tend to take things from reverse racism isn't real. To everybody out there who believes in the strong black woman, black women are just as sensitive as the white girl sitting next to us. Oftentimes in our culture, we're taught not to show emotion because that makes us soft, but just because we have a lack of shown emotion doesn't mean that we have a lack of emotion within us. Most slaves that were forced into America were Bantu and Zulu slaves, so most of you have Bantu origins. We don't emasculate our men. We don't do that, but we don't bow down either. I will not treat you less than, but you will not disrespect me. Period, point blank. Natural hair traps heat, absorbs moisture, and can grow at the same length as any other race's hair. Naturally curly hair is the most versatile hair that there is. To anybody who's ever turned down a black girl for whatever reason it is, one of the worst things a black girl can ever hear in her lifetime is that she's too dark. Most people use the term racist incorrectly. Most people are just downright prejudiced. Racist means having or showing belief that a particular race is superior to another. Racism is a power play, whereas being prejudiced is a matter of opinion. Full body expression in our Chipotle. To any POC, full body expression is just a cultural thing. We don't need you making vines, tweets, Instagram videos, none of that about it. If I want to wave my hands, clap, do any of that when I'm happy, mad, sad, or glad, I will do that. And I don't need your commentary on it. The hashtag Black Lives Matter does not mean that all lives don't matter. If a house was burning down in a neighborhood, you wouldn't put water on the whole neighborhood. You would only put water on that specific house. Black lives are the only lives that are being racially profiled in the streets at an alarming rate. Just like Hispanics in the workforce, the whole workforce won't be equal until Hispanics are treated fairly in the workforce. And to be honest, all lives didn't matter until Black Lives Mattered. Melanin is an absorber of light. Scientifically, an absorber of light. People with melanin-rich skin, you live. To all makeup companies, your Maybellines, your CoverGirls, and can I get a one time for the Neutrogena? Say it louder. We're brown, but we have undertones. All of us aren't the same shade. You cannot just look at mud and go, they gonna like this, because we're not. An ethnicity and a race are not the same thing. Just because you are Indian, just because you are Hispanic, just because you are Jamaican, it doesn't mean you are not black. Ethnicity is not the same as race. An ethnicity, a group of people that share common religion, culture, nationality. That is an ethnicity. A race is a group of people distinguished from others by specific characteristics such as skin color, ancestry, and physical traits. Your ethnicity ain't got nothing to do with you being black, boy, you still black. To all my dark-skinned baddies out there who got the melanin popping and they got the dark skin on fleek, just a little disclaimer. Light-skinned females could care less about their light skin than you care about their light skin. Stop worrying about how light somebody is compared to you and how dark you are compared to somebody else. You're beautiful. Your light-skinned sister is just as beautiful as you are. Your kinks, your curls, your coils defy gravity. Your hair defies gravity. With that being said, don't touch my hair. Don't ask to touch my hair. Don't play in my hair. Don't tell me how fun my hair looks. It's my hair. I know how it feels, and I know that it gets frizzy when you touch it. So don't touch my hair. It's not an amusement park. Thank you. Carl Brigham was the founder of the SAT test. He was also a reformed racist who wrote the book, A Study of American Intelligence, an extremely racist book where Carl actually tested by race. He implemented racial segregation into the testing system when building the SAT, and we still use it today. POCs are naturally lit. We vibe with each other, we vibe with our surroundings, we work with the scraps that we were given, and we are just naturally lit people AF. But with that being said, you can join in the party, but don't steal my balloons. Just because you are white does not mean that you cannot support the movement of black love, black pride, and black people. Just because you are white does not mean that you have to be silent, because silence is in fact an action. For everybody who has any questions, comments, or concerns, my vagina is pink. For all of those who didn't know, slaves were not brought to America on cruise ships. They were actually packaged as cargo, not humans. Regarding slavery, slaves had no life. Slaves had no childhood. Slaves had no being. Slaves were not humans. Slaves were property. The way that you treat a notebook when you're done using it, when the year's over, when you throw it around, those were slaves. Their whole lifetime, they weren't anything. 8 million slaves traveled along the Middle Passage. And with that being said, only 2 million slaves even made it to becoming slaves in America. As much as people want POCs to go back to Africa if they don't like the way that we're being treated here, we can't. What country are we going to go to? Our history was lost on the way here. They changed our last names, they burned our houses, killed our family, killed our ancestors. They gave us new identities in a completely different language. You know what's so crazy about that? Let's just go off script for a second. Let's just go off script for a second. Let's be real. It's sad because I can't tell you where I'm from. I can't tell you who my great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was. I can't tell you what tribe I'm from, what part of Africa I'm from. I don't even know. I literally do not know. That's how lost our files are, Taylor. We have no clue where we came from. And if that, I hate it when people say, oh, I want me a foreign female. This is as foreign as it comes. I can't even tell you where I'm from. That's how foreign I am. As angry and as passionate and fired up that POCs get about topics like this, we love everybody. We love and we appreciate every culture. Hashtag Black Lives Matter isn't saying that no other life matters. All these movements, all these posts, all these complaints that we have isn't to hinder anybody else's race nor their culture. But we want ours to be celebrated because it's not. At the end of the day, our goal, what we're fighting for, is unity. Period. It's unity.